Y'all remember a couple years back when Tyrese used to have these routine breakdowns on IG?
Don't take my baby. I'm at $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me? Just sitting in a fucking cage. Just rotting.
Tyrese will go on to blame his meltdowns on psychiatric drugs he just started taking.
I just wanted to formally apologize after what I now know was some psychiatric meds called Rexulti. So have I been stressed about losing my daughter? Yes. But after seeing several psychiatrists and therapists trying to help me out, one of the psychiatrists suggested some medicine, and it really f***ed me up in a real way. If you know me the way I know you do, you know that something had to be wrong and I was not in my normal mind.
He's a slippery-ass Negro boy. You know why? Because when you play the I was on medicine card, then you are basically saying something was wrong with you, so you kind of protect yourself from slander because people really don't know if you was on the medicine or not. But if you ask me, the only illness Tyrese suffers from is constipation because he's full of shit.
Charlamagne held no punches. He was a savage when talking about Tyrese. And his comments like those from Charlamagne the God that put Tyrese and the Breakfast Club at odds. But it looks like the feud is finally over because Tyrese and the Breakfast Club just dropped a new interview. During this interview, Tyrese will confront Envy and Charlamagne the God for being fake homies, and things got really heated. Now, the interview started off kind of awkward as well.
DJ, Envy, Charlamagne the God, just hilarious. We are the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
We got a special guest in the building.
Our good brother. He 40 minutes late, but we happy to see him.
40 minutes late. Gave us a story of him running through Manhattan.
He was running up the street.
Running through the
It's a
street.
little musty, but it's all good.
Oh, wow. That's not. Wow. We ain't going there.
In general, it's probably not a big deal, but if you're having an interview with somebody who you were just at odds with and the smoke just cleared, you probably want to make them feel like they're walking into a welcome environment. But if you're already taking shots 10 seconds into the interview, that's kind of odd and off. And even Tyrese's response wasn't a response of, oh, we're just homie kicking and laughing. Like, for example, like Donnell Rollins and Charlamagne the God, like when they crack jokes and roast each other, it's always heavy cackling. Tyrese ain't even chuckle. He just said, nah, we're not going there. Right? And then what happened next was even more awkward, right? So they presented Tyrese with a story of how one of their employees at the Breakfast Club alerted them that Tyrese was real pompous and arrogant when he met Tyrese, and he's Tyrese's biggest fan. Now, that was kind of weird because you started off the interview calling him musty, then you're about to follow up with a story to assassinate his character, and Tyrese ain't really respond too well.
We had a guy here, man, who's a super fan of you.
Super producer,
but he's also a super fan of Tyrese, like a real fan. Like he's like, I bought the Black Tie album.
Came this morning singing and not just Sweet Lady.
Yeah.
Like singing catalog.
But he said last time
he said he purchased the Black Tie album
That's right.
and was very excited about it. And every time he has rap conversations, he talks about the Black Tie album that he's purchased.
But he said when he met you, you didn't take a picture with him. He said you told him no more pictures.
No more pictures?
That's what he said. So you got to right that wrong before you leave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit, you got a lot of rights to wrong too, Charlamagne.
That's right.
But seriously, I think
Right, like you see Charlamagne laughing and Tyrese got a strict face, bro. Like, you just called me musty. Now you following up with a story to tell the fans that I'm this POS who don't take pictures with my fans. Like, what's the purpose of this? But the slick shots didn't stop, right? Because shortly after this, Charlamagne took another shot at Tyrese, essentially calling him irrelevant.
About money. I don't lose sleep over who's hot, who's not.
Right.
I've never been irrelevant to me.
Ever. Not to me either.
Thank you, Jess.
Ask me.
No.
Please, go ahead.
I'm not worried about you at all.
In actuality, it's probably not a big deal, but when you pair that up with the other shots, it just creates a weird environment to where the person you're interviewing don't know like what to expect next. Like, is he being set up? Now, the interview began to get spicy when Tyrese told a story about how God called upon him to help a particular person he didn't know. Charlamagne the God pointed out that Tyrese also helped DJ Envy with his marriage in a similar fashion. And then Charlamagne the God added, to instigate, I would assume, yo, I don't think Envy really appreciated you helping him like that.
I was just having a conversation last night with somebody who's
who's going through a situation right now. And although I didn't do a DJ Envy,
he wasn't talking to me this time. It just wasn't me this time. Just put that out there. This
God
was
didn't give me no assignment to do nothing like that,
Right.
you know, because that ain't. I'm like, okay, well, if it's an assignment, then it ain't something that you finna do 10, 12 times in a row. So I was very clear that what God put on my heart to do with my brother, you know, it happened. But yeah,
I don't know if Envy appreciates that as much as he should.
He don't.
Do you appreciate what Tyrese did for you back then?
Of course.
No.
Okay, just making sure.
I don't feel like you do.
Why
Oh,
don't you
Jeff
feel
don't
that way?
know.
Nah, I'm
all
new to Breakfast Club. I don't know what's going on. What
It's all
happened?
right.
I'll explain it.
So at this point, it becomes very clear that Tyrese is visibly hurt and has something to get off his chest. Now, Envy would explain that Tyrese was one of the main reasons why his marriage was able to survive after he cheated on his wife. Because apparently Tyrese acted as a therapist for Envy and his wife, and he did everything he could to make sure Envy and his wife stayed together when he didn't know Envy.
Tyrese happened to be in town and heard some of the things that were going on. So Tyrese called to check on me and see what was going on. I was going through it. And instead of just checking and keeping moving, he stayed on top of it to the point where he became the therapist, the mediator, the person in between.
Right. The reason that you are with your wife today, still.
Part of that reason, correct. Absolutely. So he was in there being that person in the middle of it. So he was the one where he was explaining and talking, because sometimes during those type of situations, wife didn't want to hear from me. My wife didn't want to hear from me.
Absolutely not.
But, you know, she was hearing from Tyrese from a different side.
And he's saying,
can I finish my story?
oh,
So anyway, Tyrese called and said, hey, this is what I want you to do. Get a dinner, book a private room at your house. I'm going to be there. You and your wife have a dinner, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to sing Stay, which is my favorite Tyrese song.
classic record.
Oh my God.
Classic record.
Right? And he had a violinist, and he came and they sang Stay, and you know, he sat down there with us for dinner and spoke to us and guided us through as far as he could our relationship, and you know, we had to go through other steps.
And then with all of that, Tyrese still got to beg Envy to play his record.
And then the thing is, and then y'all treat him like this when he comes here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Well,
Ty.
no.
Just Hilarious just said what we was all thinking. That man extended himself to you guys, help you out with your marriage, offer himself up in any way he could help, and he comes on the Breakfast Club, and y'all are treating him like a low-cow. And before he came on the Breakfast Club, when his divorce came up, y'all was clowning him, y'all was clowning his meltdown, right? Y'all had nothing favorable to say about him, which is kind of odd, right? If somebody helped you out that much, the least you can do is probably not be a dick to him. And this is when things got a little confrontational, because Tyrese began to explain and expound on what his issues with Envy are.
But this is the part that I don't appreciate about Envy, is when Tyrese divorce comes across your headline, when the captions associated to the things that come across your desk, where is that same heart and love that I extended to you that you could extend to me, instead of it just being paper pushing and this is what Tyrese is on the gram again? But why is my marriage funny? Why is my divorce just something to talk about?
Perfect.
Where
Good
is
question.
the outreach?
This is a good
question.
conversation.
No,
Let's put it
I'm gonna
all
tell you why
out
this is
there.
a good question.
Go ahead.
Where
Where
Good
is the
question.
call? You good, Reese?
It's like
We
I
checked
need to
on
come
you.
to Atlanta and come pull up on you at the house. and-
I can understand Tyrese hurt, which is I'm there for you. I was there for your marriage. I saved your marriage. And when my marriage is on the rocks, not only do you not reach out, but you're on the radio every day talking about it and beating my back end. Like, come on, G. Now, Tyrese probably thought that Envy was his real friend. But here's the thing, man. In this industry, if you met somebody in this industry, you guys are industry friends. I don't care how close you think you are to that person. Everybody got an agenda and a motive. And the very second, like, they can't use you any longer, they just stop communicating, bro. Right? Like, if you're not useful, there's no reason for you to be around. So Tyrese probably thought Envy was the homie. Envy probably thought Tyrese was just somebody. His wife probably loved his music. He could use Tyrese to get back his marriage. And once his marriage got back, bro, ain't no need to communicate any longer. Now, DJ Envy would give a reason as to why he didn't reach out to Tyrese. And the reason was kind of odd and bizarre. Essentially, he said he didn't reach out to help Tyrese because he didn't respect Tyrese.
Tell you why. It's kind of like when a preacher tells you something in church, right? And the preacher tells you what you need to do to be better. Then you look at the preacher's life and you say, how do you teach me something that you're not doing? I don't respect the preacher anymore.
Oh, shit.
I respect the message and how it came. But you know what I've been through, and you know how I changed as a man and as a person. And you were there for it. You was a brother for it. But then when I look at my brother and saying what he's telling me to do and how he's telling me to live, he's not living that way. I don't respect it. I took a step back because I didn't know what you were going through, and I tried to talk to you, and I seen who you were, and I didn't even like who you were online. And to my point, I tried, and when I seen how you were talking this way, I said, I'm going to take a step back.
And you know, when me and
How
Tyrese had a
convenient.
How convenient? Yeah, how convenient. Yeah, when the way you were talking, the way that you were.
How convenient to step back.
What you mean? What you mean?
I never stepped back from you.
From you.
It's right.
Envy being really savvy and understanding how he's being portrayed right now and how he's looking. Like, he's looking real disloyal and, like, snaky with no integrity. So Envy now understands how he's being portrayed. So he stopped beating around the bush and told the real reason why he never reached out to Tyrese.
I never stepped back from you.
From you.
It's right.
You should have.
But I never talked to your wife in a disrespectful manner, and you talked to mine in a disrespectful manner.
How?
And I never told nobody that.
If
Even
I've
when
ever
you were
talked-
on, and you could say you were on those psych meds, and you could say that you weren't.
What you mean?
But as a man, some of the things that you said, Tyrese, deserved me to box your mouth.
Whoa,
And I didn't. No. We were talking because this is something that I never wanted to say. And since he wants to be, well, why Envy? I'm telling him why. You said disrespectful shit to my wife.
What do you say?
It's neither here nor there. To the point where why my wife doesn't call you back anymore. And to the point when you started talking to psych meds, me and my wife had a conversation and said, well, maybe Tyrese was on those medicines when he said it. But if you ever text me and my wife, you can't text me because I just unblocked you probably about a month ago when me and Charlamagne was talking, and he told me that you were on the psych meds and this is what it was.
This was longer than a month ago.
Yeah, that's what made me unblock you. So that was the reason why I stopped talking to you and will not reach out to you anymore, because I'm like, I don't want to remember my brother as that.
How many times would DJ Envy threaten to whoop one of y'all for talking about his wife until one of y'all just gets sick and tired of it and say, all right, bruh, let's get to it, and call his bluff? He did the same thing to Desus and Mero, where he threatened to whoop them as well. And they played it cool as well, bruh. But this light-skinned dude is going around terrorizing y'all on these podcasts, man. Now, Tyrese's excuse for, I guess, saying things that Envy didn't think was appropriate to his wife was he was on psych meds and he would ask Envy for forgiveness.
Things that I said and did, the people that I rubbed the wrong way, the things that I posted, my conduct overall that was literally out of my control. I've literally prayed that people can find it in their heart to not hold me to something that I said and did while I was literally out of my mind. And if we could expect God to give us grace, we should always extend that same grace. So what I'm saying to you is everybody clearly could see that something was going on.
Tyrese didn't really apologize. He essentially just said, bruh, get over it. I was on psych meds. You can't blame me for that. I was out of my mind. I was, mentally insane. Now, they also went back and forth after that about DJ Envy essentially trying to pass through as facts that he never said nothing bad about Tyrese on the radio. Tyrese called cap on that.
I ever said about Tyrese?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing but positivity. In my book,
That's not true.
when I did interviews, there's nothing that I've ever said negative about Tyrese.
We didn't show Tyrese a lot of grace when we was reporting those headlines. I can admit that.
And I remember being up there
that's
reporting
what
a
I'm
headline and you straight bust out laughing. He did it, you did.
And that's what I'm talking about. So I'm saying, literally, I don't do anything for anybody expecting anything in return but to say, well, you know what? I know that if my divorce had ultimately happened, I don't really know that I'd be sitting in front of Envy right now. So now extend that grace to me to say, I'm going to put myself in Tyrese's shoe. Whether it's drunk, whether it's psych meds, that's my brother. And when I leave this station, I still get to go home to a wife and a family. And for whatever reason, this nigga didn't even know my name.
Honestly, I don't think what Tyrese was asking for was too much. If I save your marriage, bro, the least you can do is not beat my back and at least extend me grace. Now, after Tyrese said this, it looks like Envy felt like he was losing the conversation again and he needed another monkey wrench to throw in. So Envy, like, he brought up this story out the blue where he essentially told Tyrese that he knew one of Tyrese's employees who told Envy that Tyrese was violating him or doing something wrong to him. So Envy then told Tyrese that he stayed away from Tyrese. Well, not because Tyrese disrespected his wife, but because Tyrese violated the employee and he just couldn't like somebody who would do that to their employees. It sounded like an excuse to just smear Tyrese's name some more.
I will say this, as far as I'm concerned, it's over. You know what I mean? We had a conversation. I'm sure my wife would feel the same way. But yeah, you're right. And the reason I say that is and I'm not going to bring it back, but I'm going to tell you what my mind frame was. I had somebody that worked for you call me up. And what I felt and what happened to me, you must have did to him as well. And we'll talk behind the scenes what it was. And that just made me say, you know what, let me take a step away. Just think about how many times I was in Atlanta and you're like, yo, hey, come by the crib. And I just, nah. Because I just didn't know who you were as a person.
Dudes are finding a lot of creative ways to say, bruh, I just ain't see you as a friend like that, bruh. Like, yeah, you did me a favor once, bruh, but we really wasn't that cool for me to reach out. It would have been that easy, to be honest, bruh. Now, Envy also added in a kiss my ass from the back, which was, I believe, a subliminal towards Tyrese.
To just, hey, bro, you all right?
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Have the conversation?
I'll do that. See, we can do that now, but just see, I play Rashawn all day. I play DJ Envy all day. I play light skin jokes. I play all types of jokes, but I don't play Gia, Madison, Logan, London, Jackson, Brooklyn, or Peyton. Yeah. I draw the line where it is, and I don't care what anybody says about Grace. That's my family. Somebody could give me $20 million. When you play with my kid, kiss my ass from the back. That's just how I feel until we have that conversation. Now that we have that conversation, it's a different story.
And then after this, they sort of moved on and squashed it. Now, in terms of my perspective of the entire interview and their interaction, it's hard to pick sides, right? Because we don't know what took place behind the scenes. I understand Tyrese, right? If I helped you with something like that and saved your marriage, the least you can do is offer me grace and not beat my back in publicly. Now, from Envy's perspective, is Tyrese did indeed disrespect Envy's wife, then he has every reason to cut off Tyrese because that's his wife. Y'all let me know in the comment section, man, what y'all think, bro? Whose side are you guys on, Envy or Tyrese? But before you guys leave, click on the video somewhere on my screen to find out why Logan Paul's fiance is trying to put this man behind bars. I'm going to see you guys in this video, right? Somewhere on my screen. Out of here, folks. Peace.